Hello, and welcome to your 15-minute yoga practice. Today, we will be practicing a hip mobility flow that releases tension in your hips and lower back. All levels are welcome and no props are needed. We are going to begin on our back with our knees pointed up, our feet flat on the mat. You can place your hands just below your navel. We're going to take a few deep breaths here, in and out through your nose. I want you to bring a little awareness to your body, a little awareness to your breath. You can slowly open your eyes. We'll get started with pelvic tilts. I want you to inhale, arch your back. Exhale, you're going to round your spine. Inhale, arch. Exhale, pressing your lower back into the mat. We'll inhale up and exhale back down. Now we're going to incorporate our arms. Inhale, bringing both arms up overhead, and exhale, your hands back down. Inhale up and exhale down. Inhale, rounding your spine. Exhale, pressing that lower back into your mat. Let's go ahead and extend that left leg up. You can interlace your hands behind your thigh. We're going to get into those hamstrings. You can flex your foot to get a deeper stretch. And lower your leg back down. Go ahead and send that right leg up, interlacing your hands behind your thigh. Make sure you're breathing here. And exhale your leg back down. I want you to hug your knees into your chest here. Make sure you relax your neck and your shoulders as we stretch the lower back. We're going to rock and roll to seated. Here we're exploring our strength, our energy, and our control. Once you come up to seated, I want you to place your hands behind you. We're going to go ahead and cross our left foot over our right thigh. Stretching our hips here. You can lower your leg back down. Go ahead and bring your right foot on top of your left thigh. Deep stretch here. And lower your leg back down. Now we're just going to windshield wiper our legs back and forth. Really stretching and opening through the hips. You can go ahead and meet in tabletop position. I'm going to get into a few cat-cows here. Inhale, I want you to gaze up. Exhale, we're tucking our chin to our chest, rounding our spine. Inhale, arching our back. Exhale, rounding our spine. We'll do some fire hydrants here. We're going to kick that leg up, really opening up through the hips here. And we'll move over to the other side. Inhaling our leg up. Exhaling back down, making sure you keep that spine straight. We'll come back in tabletop. I want you to extend that right leg out, really pressing through your heels. You can go ahead and let that back leg float just above the mat if that feels good to you. And extend that right arm out and up. Make sure you engage your core here. We are going to come into tiger pose. I want you to bend your left knee, and with your right hand, I want you to grab a hold of your ankle. If this is a little more challenging for you, you can bend at the knee, extending your foot up to the ceiling. Go ahead and extend that right leg back, pushing through the heels. We'll let our foot float just above the mat. We'll bring that left arm out just above the shoulder. Once you have your balance, go ahead and extend that arm up, thumb pointed up. If it feels good to you, you can go ahead and try to grab the top of your foot, kicking your foot into your hand, opening up through your hip flexor, opening up through your shoulder. I want you to extend your knees as wide as the mat, big toes together to touch. We're going to sink our hips down and back into a wide leg child's pose. I want you to bring awareness to your heartbeat. Notice your breath. Slowly coming back up to tabletop. We're going to curl our toes under, send our hips up and back, coming into downward facing dog. Really pushing in to all four corners of your hands. We're going to slowly walk to the top of our mat. We'll inhale here. Exhale, forward fold. We'll inhale, bringing your hands to your shin. Exhale, forward fold. You can grab opposite elbows if that feels good to you. We'll rock side to side. You can release your hands back down to the mat, and one vertebrae at a time will slowly come up to standing. I want you to bring your legs out wide. We're going to place our hands just above our knees. Really stretch out our shoulders here. Wake up our spine. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, bring our shoulder down. Come back to center, and you can stay here, or if it feels good to you, I want you to turn your feet at a 45-degree angle, sink your hips down, and come into a yogi squat. Pressing your elbows into your knees into your elbow. Your chest is lifted, your shoulders are relaxed down and away from your ears. And we'll slowly come up to standing. You to inhale. We're going to halfway lift. And go ahead and extend that right arm up. We'll exhale back down. We'll inhale that left arm up. And exhale back down. I want you to grab the pinky edge of your foot here. We're just going to let our head hang heavy. I want you to relax your neck, your shoulders. Make sure you're breathing here. Slowly going to walk to the top of our mat. Lower our back knee down. We're going to bring our hands to the inside of our left foot and put a little pressure on our inner thigh, really opening our chest here, gazing over our left shoulder. come up to standing. And we'll switch our legs out, placing your knee down to the mat, opening up that right inner thigh. We're twisting into this pose, gazing over your right shoulder. We'll pop that back knee off the mat. And bring that right foot back. We'll come into our high plank, squeeze our elbows in and lower down to our belly. We're going to come into our Sphinx pose, pressing our hands and the tops of our feet into the mat, relaxing our shoulders down and away from our ears. With our right arm, I want you to grab a hold of your right foot, stretching out our hamstrings here. And lower back down. We'll move over to the other side. Make sure you're breathing deeply here. And release your foot back down. We're going to extend our arms out wide. Go ahead and lift up that left foot. We're going to cross it behind and opening up our hips. Deep spinal stretch here. We'll kick up our right leg and step it behind our left glute. And we'll lower our leg back down. Bringing our hands by our rib cage. We're going to push up to tabletop. Extend our legs wide. Big toes together to touch. Sink those hips back, coming into a wide leg child's pose. We are gently opening the hips and the pelvic muscles. This pose is great for releasing that lower back. We're slowly going to push up to tabletop and we'll come into a seated position. We'll slowly roll onto our backs, squeeze our knees into our chest. We'll cactus our arms out to the side and we'll send our hips over to the right. If it feels good to you, you can go ahead and gaze over that left shoulder. Inhale back to center and exhale down to the other side. And you can gaze over that right shoulder if that feels good to you. A deep spinal stretch here. Inhale, coming back up to center. And exhale, your feet flat on the mat. We're going to come into bridge pose. I want you to engage your core, squeeze your glutes, create a solid foundation with your feet. We're going to lift those hips off the mat. If it feels good to you, you can interlace your hands behind your back. Take a few breaths here. And release. You can lift your legs, bring them out wide, and with your peace fingers, we're going to grab our big toe. Gently bringing our knees closer to the mat. If it feels good to you, you can rock side to side. giving your lower back a little bit of a massage. Come back to center, release your feet, and roll over to whatever side feels good to you. We're going to come up to seated. You can bring your hands to your heart center. Again, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.